Please could we be given warning at the beginning of a programme if there's going to be anything about the Beatles, as all Beatle fans can make sure to listen, and have a chance to ring up other fans to make sure they are also listening.
Hi everybody, this is John here. This is Paul, George
and Ringo.
And we're very happy to be on your program once again.
Hi everybody, this is Steve Marinucci, and we have a new Beatles News Briefs podcast for you. It's a exclusive interview with PJ Maclen, who was at the Wednesday night, February 13th Bowery Ballroom concert in New York. He tells us what it was like to get tickets, what it was like inside, some of the celebrities who attended, and gives us all sorts of wonderful memories that he had from the show. So we're going to get into that, and right after we'll have a little bit of news for you. So here we go. One of the lucky people to get into Paul McCartney's second Bowery Ballroom concert on the 12th. And PJ, thank you for talking with us.
Problem, Steve.
I guess the first question is how did you manage to get tickets?
A friend of mine, of ours, me and Bob Gannon, he got into the Monday show.
Oh, I see. I hadn't seen Bob's messages, and I wondered if he got in any of the shows at all. He did get in though.
And he called us and said he was talking with the bartender, and said, yeah, she was booked for Wednesday and Friday. So
Friday.
Bob and I met in New York. We said, okay, we're going to roll the dice and see what happens. So we got there Tuesday. We went and met him out in front after the show. And I'm looking into the venue, and I see that they're not tearing anything down. They're covering stuff up.
Okay.
So he kind of said that he got tipped off that there probably would be a second show. So I said, okay, when we get the room, we'll take we'll roll the dice. Mm-hmm. So we get a call from one of the Beatle bloggers, Two Legs Podcast or something like that, at 20:07 in the morning. He goes, hey, where are you guys? And he goes, we're just waking up. He goes, there's 20 people in line already. So we quick threw our clothes on, ran down there and stood in the street until 10 o'clock. And Paul's head of security, Mark, came by, recognized us, and said, okay, he gave us our ticket, a little blue, raffle ticket. And we walked up to the door, and they gave us a ticket and a wristband. They said, we'll see you at 6 o'clock.
Wow. How many people were in line?
Well, when we got there at like 7:15, we were 21st in line. And by time they made the announcement at 10 o'clock, Steve, the line went around 2 blocks.
So you guys were in line before they even announced it. I mean, there was really no chance for anybody to get tickets unless you were already in line a couple hours before. Is that right?
Right. We kind of, like I said, when we saw that they weren't tearing any of the equipment down, we said, look, we'll just take the chance to come out here early in the morning and stand around and see what happens. When we got there, all the barricades from the night before were still on the street and lined up. They didn't tear that down either. So we said, thought we had a good chance. So we kind of rolled the dice, and it came up sevens.
What was the atmosphere like in the line? I mean, I can imagine the excitement, but I mean, how was everybody reacting in the line at 7 o'clock in the morning? It
was great. It was a lot younger crowd than I expected. Mm-hmm. The 20 to 30 somethings. Mm-hmm. They were pretty receptive and good, and everybody in line was having fun, even though it was cold and damp. We just, we knew what we were waiting for, and kind of went with it from there.
What was the weather like? How cold was it?
When we got there at 7:15 in the morning, it was like 28 degrees. Ooh. And then it snowed the night before, so it was cold, it was damp, but we were ready, double pairs of socks and the hats and the gloves. And we said, look, it's McCartney. I did this once before for Irving Plaza on Valentine's Day a few years back.
Did you?
Yeah, 2015. The poster's on my wall right over my desk. So we did the same thing, except that we got in line at 5 in the morning, and it had, I think it was 2 degrees. We froze for Irving Plaza.
Oh my God.
So, so we
Oh my
just,
God.
yeah, we took the shot, and then it just happened to pay off. Like I said, when we noticed they weren't tearing anything down, that they were just covering it up, I said, "There's another show. Either it's going to be Wednesday or it's going to be Thursday." So we just got lucky, Steve.
What was it like once you got in?
Very small venue. McCartney's equipment took up. They couldn't have all the stuff on the stage,
Sure.
all his, his mixers and stuff like that. They even had the guitar cases, for all the guitars off to the side of the stage on the dance floor, but they had them cordoned off with ropes so you couldn't go over and touch nothing. It was that small.
Wow. Because I saw him. I guess it was 2004 at the Joint in Las Vegas, and that was small, but not as small as what you guys saw.
Yeah,
I mean,
this was tiny. They said the capacity is 575, but McCartney stuff took up so much space. I'd probably go to 400, 450 maybe.
why did I hear something like 150? It wasn't that small.
I think the runways that were going around, they're only going to put 150 tickets up for sale. That's where that kind of came from.
Oh, okay.
And so, I mean, he came out with the little blue raffle tickets, and he only had about 200 of them in his hands. And when they ran out, he went back in the building, and so like I said, we were guaranteed.
How was the security once you got in?
Tight. A lot of people with McCartney badges. I mean, no phones, no cameras were allowed. They put them in those yonder bags so nobody could take pictures.
Right.
I mean, it was a loose atmosphere, but there were people around making sure nobody did anything crazy. You know what I mean?
Right.
Plus, it was the VIP night last night, and the number of celebrities in the building, I just couldn't believe the people I was seeing.
Who was in there?
Sean Lennon,
Oh, wow.
Little Steven,
Mm-hmm.
Elvis Costello,
Mm-hmm.
Amy Schumer, Paul Rudd, Jerry Seinfeld, Woody Harrelson. Every time I looked up in the balcony, Robert Kraft from the New England Patriots was up there rocking away. It was just it's just insane. The celebrities that were there.
Nancy, I assume Nancy was there.
Nancy was there, and when I walked in, she was upstairs on the balcony, and I looked at her, waved at her. She waved back. I just said, "Thank you," and she leaned over and said, "For what?" And I said, "For making him happy and keeping him safe." And she gave me a double thumbs up.
That's what a great anecdote that is. Were they selling any a McCartney Bowery Ballroom merchandise?
Oh yeah, I mean the poster that you've seen on the postings. There's a poster that was like $50.
Ooh.
T-shirts were 45, and there was like a little zipper bag that was like 35. So, but that's what they did. They said we're closing the swag booth down at 8 o'clock before the show is over. So we had to buy this stuff and hold on to it throughout the whole show.
Right. So
Yeah.
they had all this stuff. They had all the swag ready.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
wow.
That's how we knew that when we saw the swag table that came out from the Tuesday night show. I said, "Now he's doing more than one show. He don't print up T-shirts and posters for one night." You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, no, for sure. What was the sound like?
Incredible. I have seen McCartney now. This was my 93rd time. I have never heard people singing along to "Hey Jude" at that volume on any of the shows I've ever gone to. It was incredibly loud. It was clean. It was tight. The band was on fire. His voice didn't hear one crack, one garble. He sounded excellent.
I don't have the set list in front of me. Did he do "Live and Let Die"?
No, he didn't do that. He gave us 1985 instead. He gave us Getting Better, Flaming Pie, Can't Buy Me Love, Every Night, which I've been waiting to hear him do live forever. He finally threw that one in. He did Let Him In.
Mm-hmm.
Totally.
I'm gonna call up because I have photos of the set lists here.
Yeah, a totally different set from the night before, except for like the
Right.
second half. That's when he went into, me, Come On to Me. Uh, he did Lady Madonna. He did My Valentine. Let me see, Golden Slumbers, Let It Be. That part of the second part of the show was pretty much the same set was as the night before. But
Right.
first 45 minutes was, I think he played one song from the night before. Every other song that was different.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Um, yeah, I mean, so it was it turned down a little bit since you guys were in such close quarters, or
It
was
was
it?
typical McCartney volume. It was pretty loud. And the thing is, the kids, I was just surprised at how much they really knew of his stuff. I mean, the floor was shaking so bad a couple of times. Excuse me. I thought that the whole place was going to collapse.
Really?
Yeah, I kind of backed up closer to the bar. I said, if this floor goes down, I don't want to be the first one in the hole.
Is it now, having not been in there, is it just a regular wooden floor? Is that what it was?
Yeah. Yeah, he said they used to do. He was real chatty with the crowd. He said they used to do ballroom dancing in here. He goes, how they did it, I don't know. It was that small and it was old. I'm like, God, I hope this place doesn't fall down because that place was rocking.
Was it really?
Yeah.
When I saw him at the joint, again, it was a fairly small crowd. I don't know how many it was. He did do Live and Let Die in there,
Okay.
and oh my God, my ears. I mean, that was incredibly loud,
Yeah.
incredibly.
This
I
place
mean,
was so small, he couldn't do anything with pyrotechnics. I mean, there was no video behind him. There were no pyrotechnics. There was no graffiti. Whatever it is, not graffiti. The paper crap that flies around, confetti. There's none of
confetti,
that. It was
right?
just, it's just like you walking into a bar and there's Paul McCartney and the band on the stage, and the stage was maybe 4 feet off the dance floor. So I
Hmm.
mean, people were just right there, right in his face.
I assume that he came in through the band. He and the band came in from the back end of the stage, not through the crowd. Correct?
They came into the back end of the stage, but when they got to the venue, there is no back door. He had to go right through the front doors.
Yeah, I saw some of the movies of him coming into the venue and leaving are on the
Yeah.
internet, and yeah, you can see that. Yeah, he was right there with everybody.
Yeah.
What was his mood like during the show? I
He
mean,
was
it
he
goes
was
without saying he was having a great time.
oh man, he was chatty, he was joking with people. He started doing Getting Better and he messed up the chords 4 or 5 times. He goes, I should know this song. I wrote it. And he finally got into the right chords for Getting Better. It's probably all part of his act, but he was talking to people in the crowd. He was telling jokes. He was a great form. It's so nice to see him in a small place like that instead of MetLife Stadium or you know up in Massachusetts or it was just to be able to see him be so relaxed and just play and have fun, which is
Mhm.
was just phenomenal.
And the crowd, of course, was crazy. They
Well,
were.
like I said, I was just surprised at the youth that was in there. I
Mhm.
expected to see a lot of the old timers, but that 20, 30 something crowd, they were there and they were having a hell of a time.
Were they?
Yeah.
Did he do an encore, or did he
He,
just roll through the set list?
well, he did. He rolled through the set list and he walked off and he came out and did Golden Slumbers, Carry That Weight, the end, and that was the end of it.
Okay, okay. And everybody did I assume that they basically pushed you out after that.
If you had your coat on, they pushed you out right away, but the coat check room was downstairs. So people that like Bob Gannon, he checked his coat, and he came out like about 20 minutes after I got out because it took him that long to get his coat, and he said they're not tearing nothing down in there. Okay, you know
So yeah, no, that's yeah. That
we were gonna try for the Friday show. I said, Bob, I'm telling you right now, it's not a secret anymore. People are gonna camp out in front of that thing starting Thursday morning, and they're gonna wait until somebody tells them to go home or gives them a ticket. You
well,
know.
the one they advertised for tonight, they said was the final show.
Right.
So do you actually think that they're going to do one tomorrow anyway? I mean, I was thinking this morning that there's no way he was going to do it tonight because he's got to rehearse for SNL 50.
Well, kind of what he's doing with these shows is rehearsing for SNL 50.
You think so?
Yeah, he's loosening up his voice. He's getting the band tight because they haven't played together since Christmas. So I think he's just working out the kinks and keeping his voice so he doesn't go out there and do what he did on Saturday Night Live 40 when he did Maybe I'm Amazed and kind of embarrass himself. You know what I mean?
Right. So
I've seen him so many times. It was just so. I mean, I was at Grand Central Station for that show.
Oh wow!
I was at Irving Plaza for that show, and he was just having fun.
Do you actually think that there will be another show tomorrow night?
No.
Okay.
No. Because tomorrow night is the Saturday Night Live concert. Even though he's not part of it, I got a funny feeling he's going to sneak over and maybe jam with somebody. And then Sunday night is the whole Saturday Night Live 50th anniversary. So.
Right. So yeah, no, he's going to be. He's got a few things to do this weekend. So.
Yeah.
So, were you hoping that he would do a new song or two? I know there were people suggesting that they thought he might pull out a new song out of nowhere. But were you hoping for that?
We were hoping, but I said, you know what? I don't think he's going to do that on Celebrity VIP night. But the best part, though, is when you look up above your shoulder and you see Sean Lennon singing along to Now and Then.
Was Sean doing that? Oh, wow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Cool. He was singing along to Now and Then. He was singing along to Golden Slumbers, Carry That Weight. And he was into it. I was really surprised.
How close were you to Sean?
10, 15 feet away.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you talk to him at all?
No, he was up in the balcony. I kind of waved at him. We got the little nod, but all the VIPs were up in what was like a really tiny balcony that kind of went around the whole ballroom. So on my left side, I had Sean Lennon, Little Steven, Paul Rudd, Amy Schumer, Robert Kraft. And on the other side is Jerry Seinfeld, Elvis Costello, and there's faces I recognize. I just can't think of all the names. I mean, he filled the house with celebrities last night.
Wow.
Yeah.
When I asked you about the merchandise, what did you buy? I
bought the poster.
You bought the poster?
I bought the T-shirt. And I bought the bag.
Wow. Yeah.
Well, you've seen the picture of the poster.
I've seen the poster. Yeah, the poster's really nice. I would have definitely gone for the T-shirt, though. For $40, that's not bad.
No. That's the T-shirt for him for $45. I've been to his show. They've been $60, $70 for T-shirts. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, no, I have too. So yeah, I've seen that. Anyway, PJ, thank you very much for talking with me, and what an experience.
Yeah.
Hopefully, do you think this is the prelude to an American tour? People have been asking about that too.
I think he's gonna, once the new album gets released, he's gonna want to go out and play some of it. And he did Europe last time. I think he's got maybe one or two more tours left in him, then he might just say that's enough.
I don't know. I don't know if he's going to say that's enough.
He wants to play.
He does like to play. He doesn't show any signs of giving it up. I mean, between him and Ringo, wow. I mean,
Ringo's 84 and he's still out there kicking. So,
I still, every time I've seen him several times, and every time I see him do the jumping jacks at the end, I'm like, oh my God, this guy is.
Yeah.
And I keep thinking about the years when he was. I mean, he's basically he reminds me. I compare him and Robert Downey Jr. for what they've done in their lives.
Yeah.
And it's amazing that Ringo is still. I mean, is where he is, and is such a picture of health now at his age. I mean,
And Bob and some of my friends, they were down in Nashville for both shows. They said he looked great.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure he did. I'm sure he did. That must have been a blast.
Yeah.
Must have been a blast.
One of these times, you and I will get together and we'll talk about the old Joe Pope days.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Do you ever come out this way?
I've been out. We went out. We did the last pick candlestick. That was the last time I was on the West Coast.
I was there. I was
Yeah,
there for that.
and
Yep.
we had the entire third row.
Oh, so we were in the middle.
Yeah.
But you guys were down in the front. That was boy, the Live and Let Die that night was pretty impressive. I mean,
Hey,
I hadn't seen he really put it on that night. I remember.
yeah. And for him to come out and do Long Tall Sally that night, that was a surprise, you know?
Yep. No,
Yeah.
that was a fun show. That was a fun show.
Yeah.
Anyway, PJ, thank you for talking to us, and best of luck getting into other McCartney shows. Okay, let me give you a couple of quick bits of news. Len Gary of the Quarrymen is putting out a live CD. From what we're seeing, it's only going to be available on a very limited basis, and it's available from the George Harrison Liverpool Home Facebook page. And also David Sheff, who was author of the book All We Are Saying, which was billed as the last major interview with John Lennon, and it also had Yoko in it, is doing a Yoko biography that will be published next month. And that's all we have for today. Thanks again to PJ Maclen for taking the time to talk to me, and thank all of you for listening. If you're not already a subscriber, please be sure to subscribe for more thought-provoking discussions and information. And please give us a great review. Google likes great reviews. Thank you again. Until next time, this is Steve Marinucci saying,
Be seeing you.
Keep that one. Mark it fab.